hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. This is episode 94. I'm Matty, joined tonight by Colin and John. Colin, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, good. John, what about you?
Aye, really good. Just after you tell me there that T.G. Willis has updated his name on Twitter, I'm fucking cracking up at that. That's brilliant.
Did you go and have a look?
I did, aye.
Good.
It's funny, like the stupid wee bits of influence that I have in life. Like I've managed to help Alan's Bakery, West Orrig Road, sell pies, and now I'm changing folks' Twitter usernames.
Excellent. Excellent.
But you still
Well,
can't
I'll
get
get-
to university to get folk to get their stuff
No.
in time.
I'll give a wee shout out to Fattest Prickus is joining the company then. So they came in fitting a front door for me today. Did a splendid job. So if you
And
need
did
any
you use
coin,
the-
get in touch with Fattest Prickus on Twitter and he'll sort you out. It was
Did you
superb.
use the Longbangers discount code and get 15% off?
I got at least I think probably 15% extra added on.
I was
Uh,
gonna say,
Nah,
Didn't talk about it. It'll be a cash job and you'll not be paying tax on it. You'll not want
No.
anybody again.
didn't be saying anything like that. It was all above board. Right. Where we're going first question. Will we put a timer on tonight, or will we just take a runner? What do you fancy doing?
Ding.
Just get over and done with.
Over and done with. All right. If you think we should have put a timer on, text in 80295 and just put timer or no timer.
Here, if
That'll
there's
do.
anyone clever enough out there that can tell us how we can like point up to the top left or top right and make a timer magically
timer
appear,
come
that would
up.
be fucking brilliant. Like I've
would
tried
be
googling it on Zoom and I can't be arsed looking at it in any great detail.
We could get a massive countdown clock, which is fucking really slow. Instead of kind of going in 30 seconds, just to a minute.
Du-
Aye.
du- du-
Du-
du-
du-
du-
du-
du-
Well, even that's too fast, even like that. But there's a guy at work. We were doing training, and to validate the training, you had to do a wee assessment. So it was like 9 questions, which I thought was brilliant. 9 questions, no 10. Right. So I give him like a bonus point for the training for doing 9 questions instead of 10. But he has like a green screen for his video meetings, so he's always got different backgrounds. And I said, it would really help if we had countdown in the back. So that's what we went and put up. As we were doing the assessment, we had the countdown clock in, which was good. Nice touch.
And how many was it to pass? Was that a percentage? Or was it like, you have to get 8 out of 9?
9 out of 9. Need to do it 100%.
You have to get 9 out of 9? You have to be
Too
perfect.
difficult to work it out.
I
That's
know.
probably the
That's
benefit.
why
You
that's
did
why I
10,
normally do 10.
So,
That's the
we
biggest
just went-
benefit. Or
we just
5.
went 9. 5.
Yeah.
Colin, you're a bit just while we're talking about numbers and stuff, you're a bit of maths whiz, aren't you?
No, I just can't count.
Factorising the expert at the front, Colin Wilkinson.
So I've been watching a couple of videos on TikTok the last few days, like educational ones. Like it started off that I was looking at stuff for like cybersecurity, computer hacking, stuff like that. And then with stuff that gets suggested, one of the things that came up was like how to do things like 95 times 97 in your head and working out percentages, like all the really simple ways to work these things out that your
Aye.
teachers never ever told you. So like 30% of 40, it's just 3 times 4. I'm like,
Aye.
I could have done credit maths if someone had told me that 20 years ago.
I only got a 3 at general, like, so I can still count now. The problem with maths is you didn't do counting. It's all letters. That's what threw me. Triangles, working out angles, and fucking x plus y's and all that. If somebody was just asking me to do 40% of 30, I could have done it. I would have got a 1.
Krakatoa, mind of that? I thought
Aye.
it was a philosopher. Fucking, that's how little I knew about it.
I just know it's buttons on a calculator, but I don't know what it means. Well, it's not even that. It's Cinco Santan.
Nine
We've got
constant
that wrong.
Rocket door.
Right. Anyway, maths. First question for the night is for Josh. It says, if you're really happy, you're over the moon, and if you're feeling shit, you're under the weather. So if you're just all right, what would the phrase be? In line with the sun?
Over the moon
Well-
and what was the other one? What did you say again?
Under the weather,
Under the weather.
if you're not feeling great. Over the moon, if you're really happy. What
It
would
can't
you be?
be in line with the sun if you're looking at it for a sort of altitude point of view. Because if you're over the moon and you're doing really well, like you're quite high up, if you're under the weather, it's still way above you. But the sun is further away than the moon, so just being alright, it can't be in line with the sun. We need something between
And you're
the
always under the
weather
weather.
and the moon.
You're always under the weather
Oh.
anyway, aren't you?
Would you have your head in the clouds then?
Maybe.
Well, that's when you're daydreaming. Maybe
That's when
if
you
you're
th-
kind of, if
You
you're,
think you're all right, but you're not.
aye,
But daydreaming's quite a happy place to be.
depends what you're daydreaming about.
What do you daydream about?
Well, playing for Hibs and that normally, yeah. More formation I would pick now. I'm a man.
Over-
If you want to
over
play for I'm a
45.
man. Aye.
Can I get a game for the over 45s now?
Aye.
Like,
Well-
with these charity matches.
How would I get us to get a shot on target? That's what I daydream about. Or getting 5 minutes to myself. Just long enough to daydream. That daydream doesn't even last that long, eh?
So
Interrupted.
yeah, that's a wee bit Inception, like, eh? Like, surely to have a daydream for 5 minutes, or sorry, to have a daydream about getting 5 minutes to yourself, you must have some sort of time to yourself. So that's like daydreaming within daydreaming.
Yeah.
That's
Aye.
quite nice. That's quite a nice idea.
So are we going my head in the clouds? Will that do?
Aye, that'll do. That's just
Seems
Josh, is
reasonable.
that? Aye. Josh, that's what you're getting, son. That's
Aye, that's it. Thanks for your question. Right. Reach till next week. Stuart says, have you ever been ambushed by a cake?
it. Not even during lockdown.
No. You ever been surprised by a party?
Be surprised how shite a party is, maybe. But I've never had. I've never had a surprise party. No, I think. I've been to surprise parties, but I've never had a surprise party.
Have you ever arranged one?
For,
Not,
have
not
I
a
ever?
party, a surprise party. Yeah, a surprise party.
No.
Have you?
No. We've done other things to surprise folk. Like occasionally, we used to work night shifts, and when you work night shifts in call centres, the place is dead apart from your team. And if someone went to the toilet, occasionally you get everybody else to hide. So when they come back out the toilet, it looks like the place is properly deserted there. Or we put the clock forward and hide, so it looks like they've been away for fucking ages. Like it's after home time. It's not really a party, though, is it? Especially if you're at work.
No.
If it's all that would be a work event,
A work
which
event,
is
that's right.
all right. What were you, John? You ever been ambushed by a cake or had a surprise party or that?
I think if I've ever had like a cake in the pus. Like, you know how sometimes folk will just launch one at you, or like you'll come walking around a corner, you'll suddenly get hit in the face with a cake. But I
How often
don't-
is that? How often do you see that happening?
Well, so this was going to be my question. Like, see, when you think about surprise parties, I'm sure that people do organise them. But how many people do you know? Like, I think you were both saying there that you've never organised a surprise party for anyone. So you've never organised a crowd of people to sit and wait and shout surprise when someone walks in. Like, that's quite a difficult thing to organise. That's 3 of us here that have never done it, and I've never been on the receiving end of a surprise party. So actually, they're just a totally fictitious event. These things actually happen in the real world.
See, if you got wind of a surprise party for yourself and you walked in and you knew it was coming, and we went, "Hey, surprise!" Would you go, "Oh, fuck, I never knew that was coming," or would you go, "Oh, these were all here"?
You'd have to go along with it, wouldn't you?
Would you?
Do you not think?
You would, you'd be that sort of cars.
Yeah, that needs to be a mission in life for us, mate, is to organise calling a surprise birthday party where
Yeah.
we've got absolutely no idea that
Well,
it's
the thing
coming.
is, it'll be harder now because now we've tipped them off.
No, I'll be looking out for it.
So when's
Not
your
got
next
enough time
birthday?
for this. Just a couple of weeks. Next week, 2 weeks' time, 10 days, something like that.
Aye, so it's not going to be in a couple of weeks. It's not going to be next year, but it's going to happen.
It's one of my can you ask, like they don't call me Shirley. You have like some stock daft answers to give or daft responses to give to folk when they say something. Is if somebody tells you like, "Oh, I'm having a surprise 40th for my wife," surely she must get she's going to be fucking 40. Like, you can have that one. You can use that if you want, listeners. If you want to borrow that one. Right. Next question. The words: if you were hosting a work event for Hugh Grant, Jacob Rees-Mogg, Anne Diamond, Gary Mackay, and Jeffrey from Rainbow, What would be the appropriate cake for the occasion, and show your workings? So that guest list again, right? Hugh Grant.
Right.
So you'd have to have probably some prostitute
prostitutes.
reference.
Aye.
Or it could be
Oh.
phone hacking stuff. He's a big thing against the phone hacking, isn't he?
Aye.
So maybe it's a divine Nokia 3210. The subtle reference is that the hooker's name was Divine Brown.
Yeah,
So it was.
Just
got it.
FYI.
Aye.
Got
That was
that.
yeah. Mhm.
Jacob Rees-Mogg. So you'd have to have like the icing didn't fit the cake, kind of cool.
Aye.
Can he wear a
A big
suit that fits him?
top hat on it or something like.
Aye.
You
Or,
can imagine.
or
Or
a
just shaped like
monocle.
a massive prick.
Yeah.
Victorian recipe, like, because that's clearly where he's the timeline that he's living.
Aye, the cake's in black and white. Anne Diamond. Why would Anne Diamond be on it?
Don't know. That's how it used to do TV. Yeah.
Aye. Has she been in the
It's
news
gone back a
recently?
bit.
I saw her on. I saw her reference recently, and I think it was because of some sort of. I don't know if it was like a game show, some sort of panelist game show, and there was a comedian on, and I think the comedian was taking the piss, and Anne Diamond took the hump at the comedian taking the piss. I'll need to try and
Right.
find it.
Was he taking the piss out of her because her brother Neil was more famous?
No,
No, alright. Gary Mackay.
it was a song. Anne.
Gary
Do you
Mackay,
sing
you'd
Neil
have to have
Diamond
an-
at karaoke?
Gary Mackay, you'd have a anti-racism, kind of show racism, the red card thing, or
Yeah.
an empty trophy cabinet, something like that.
Maybe just a medal with anyone else's name on it.
Aye, not
Or
Gary.
runner
just
up. No,
Aye.
Not Gary.
Or just a you've done well medal, like a like the school runner, the school runner
Participants medal.
Yeah.
for taking part.
Participation medal. There you are, son.
And you could have, if you were really clever about it, a wee sort of. Do you know how you get like the cake toppers, and it could be a wee cludgy with Craig Levine on it. With what can? Here's the reason you've got the medals as well.
Aye.
He doesn't like Levine, yeah. Like
Aye.
there seems to be there between the two.
And Jeffrey from Rainbow.
What's wrong with him? Like, just like Rainbow.
Aye. Did you?
I looked up Anne Diamond,
you'll,
by the way. I couldn't see anything but about her. I'm going to look up Jeffrey.
you'll have heard Top Flight Time Machine where they did the Zippy deep dive.
Aye. Yeah.
Jeffrey, they thought was just like some poor bastard who was trying to do good in the world. Like he was trying to look after all these wee waifs and
dead.
strays. Is he?
Jeffrey's dead. Aye.
Sorry, well you can forget about him. He
Oh,
doesn't need anything on the cake then.
You can slander him and everything because he's dead. You can't.
Can you?
Aye. Somebody's dead. You'll say whatever you want.
Which I think he
Would
was
you
in.
say it on? Would you say it on the cake though?
He was a
So
Dundee fan. He was a Dundee United fan.
You were going to say that he played
Aye.
for Dundee United. Like, fucking when?
No. He lived in Dundee in the 60s. He's a Dundee United fan.
That's probably where he got the idea for Rainbow. Well, like you've seen some of the characters kicking about Dundee, and you go, I could make a character out of him. That guy Zippy, that one will be Bungle, and so
So
on.
maybe stick a wee edible Tommy McLean on the cake as well then.
Aye. Paul Mackay said, tickle pink and bending over backwards are two sayings that are weird. Why pink and backwards? Surely hard to do unless you're double joints. Double jointed, I would imagine it's meant to be.
I don't know about the tickle pink, but bending over backwards is usually because you're going the extra mile to help somebody, so that is a
Aye.
difficult thing. So that'll be, I guess, is a logical,
Aye.
non-funny answer. Tickle pink, I've no idea.
You wouldn't want to get tickled pink while you were bending over backwards. Can you imagine the injury that would cause you?
Yeah.
Do you
Dangerous,
think, and this will relate to a pre-recording conversation we were having, tickle pink, do you think that happened to a former Hearts and Rangers player?
Text in
They just-
88295 who you think we're talking about.
If you think we're talking about, just the wind changed, where it was that colour, and it stayed bright red for all his days. Right, William asked, or said, Dido Hardin has been seen cycling about London on Boris' bike after all that money she plundered. She should surely buy herself a decent one. What is the tightest thing you've seen money-wise?
What did Dido Hardin do? Who's Dido Hardin again?
She was kicking about on a Boris bike, Tyro Harding was so did she not have to look at like
She was
when they
in
were giving
charge
it all
of
the
the test
contracts
and
and
trace program. Was she?
aye, all the contracts for test and trace. And
37
she was
billion.
obviously hopeless.
Aye. Right.
I'm sure, and as part of the stuff that I was doing for college, I was hearing that she was part of or head of Talk when they had a massive data breach. I'm pretty sure that I'm remembering the name. So aye, she's got previous. She's just fucking shit. Her job like that seems to be how you get a job at Westminster. Just be shit. Just be shit.
Tory
Everything.
HQ.
Just be prepared to give umpteen backhanders to your pals.
Right, what's the tightest thing you've seen?
I think so. I can't remember the name of the program, but it was something that was watching. It's maybe like Channel 4. It was probably one of those like poverty porn style things, but it was something for America where like the lengths that people were going to save money. So like, you know how you get like your tomato sauce bottle and you'll maybe like squeeze it, and then like if you're feeling a bit tight, you'll maybe get a wee bit of water in there, kind of like swoosh it around and try and get most out of the bottle. Like they were like trimming the bottle down so they could get every last single bit out of it.
Is it tight? So if it's folk who are having to do that to make ends meet, that's not a tightness thing, is it? So I would say tightness when somebody does that unnecessary. So if that person was like super wealthy and they were doing it, and you'd be going, "The fuck are you doing that for?" Like we were watching a thing called The Jinx. It's on Sky. It's about somebody Durst, whose first name I've forgotten.
Fred, guy at Limp Bizkit.
No, not him. Robert Durst. He was the New York property heir, and he got done for murder. Right, so we're only like a couple of episodes in, but one of the things they were using to try and pin the murder on him was he made collect calls back to the firm, his dad's business. He would call collect, so they paid for the call. I mean, he's one of the richest men in New York, and he wouldn't pay for a phone call. Mental,
Yeah.
So it's what his dad to pay for it.
Hang on, talking about tight things, what about Prince Andrew saying that he ate in Pizza Express?
That's a good example.
Like, I can't. Could you not say that you were eating at the Savoy or the Hilton or something? Pizza Express. I eat in Pizza Express for fuck's sake. And I sweat.
I just sweat. He'd want a trial now, eh?
Aye.
To be fair, that's what he should have done right from the start. It's been fucking.
Yeah, if
prove it.
He's innocent.
Aye.
Do it. Rather than trying to sneak about making yourself look guilty, you better just getting all out there, innit?
Aye. It would be brilliant then if that backfired and I did the trial and it all come out and he just got fucking.
See, if you were clever,
years and years.
If you were clever, if you were one of the lawyers, you would have someone mucking about with a thermostat, like just fucking crank it up.
That's a great shout, by the way.
I bet. Does he know? Well, I don't know if I'm right or wrong here, but is it not the case that he said he couldn't, but he now can? It was like was it
he
a
learned
trauma
how to
thing?
do it again.
That's very convenient, isn't it? When you're up for a sex charge.
Trained himself. Aye, it was difficult for a few years. I forgot how to sweat, but I did loads of training and I trained myself back to be able to sweat again.
I did a lot of sex pesting and I managed to start sweating again.
Basically, I met a guy that's like Mr. Miyagi. He got me doing all sorts of stuff, and that just taught me how to sweat again. Right, 150k on Hanlon Hill. If there is no one-eyed man in the land of the blind, who would be king?
I think I referred to my answer for a few weeks ago. If someone wants power, you should be the hardest cunt on the island. Hardest cunt in the room. Just fight to the death. That's the man that would be king. And I'd quite like to see a lot of blind people having a fight.
Well, did they do? It was an idiot abroad. Eddie's watched that. They had Carl Pilkington doing blindfold boxing, which is probably what it would be like, and it was fucking funny. Like, so
I've never seen that.
Something then. Oh, have you not?
No, I've seen that abroad, but that must have been a series I missed. Then I can't remember.
Aye, he goes. It's hilarious because they bump into things and they give themselves a fright. They didn't care that they're nowhere near each other. I'd recommend it. So what we're saying, John, is a fight to the death to work out who's going to be king. And is this you and your anti-disabled people stance again that we uncovered not long ago?
I think, if anything, I'm arguing for equality. Blind people and non-blind people should be able to fight for power.
Yeah, Aye, can you that's
Absolute power.
well done, John. Niall
They're
Kenny
at a
says,
disadvantage, though.
no, if it's equal. If they were fighting a sighted person, they would be. But this is the land of the blind.
Aye,
so
aye,
they're all right.
They're like a Paralympic sort of still one. With,
Aye.
like, not handicapped. Like, they get a number, don't they, in the Paralympics? It's depending on the disability they've got or how severe it is, or the different races. So it'd be like that. You'd have a king in the T10s and a king in the T20s. Or
Aye.
that. He's only partially blind.
Aye.
He's got half an eye. He's no eyes.
Wonder if maybe they'd have that as an entry requirement to the island. Do you know, or the land?
It's funny,
Would you,
an
would,
island
you,
as well,
would you spell it
Aye.
island like EYE land
I,
or no island? Blind land.
Niall Kenny said you colonise on a newly discovered island. How coincidental is that? And you're the rule maker. What's rule number 1?
Oh, no, he's eating. Like, you've got to immediately like conform.
It should be like was it Ellis Island where people landed when they were going to America, like, and they all got processed and given details or whatnot. Like, you should sit down. The first thing you should do is have a meal. Can you eat with your mouth closed? If you
Get
can't,
tested.
you're fucking back in the boat. See you later.
It's like doing the
Do we-
test that they make you do when you when you come into Britain. They've got to do a test to, on, like, I don't know, royal families and all that kind of stuff. Just saying, no, eat that burger. See you get on. There's a bag of crisps as well. Crack on.
You are
Everybody
taking
else-
a train
everybody
ride of
else
less than an hour.
shush it out.
I was watching The Tourist.
Aye.
I was watching. Have you seen The Tourist yet on the
No.
BBC One? The boy, the Irish guy that was in the fall and that. Jamie somebody. There was a guy in it. He was getting a ride in the taxi, and the taxi driver was drinking like a carton, like a McDonald's carton with a straw, and he kept slurping it. And the boy was he was a bipolar guy or something anyway, you know what I mean? He was like, and he ended up just fucking saying, "Go and stop the car." So like, I killed the boy. He just fucking hearing it slurping. That's a shushy spoiler alert before.
Aye,
Yeah, I said that.
cheers, Colin. Jamie Dornan, by the way.
It's Jamie Dornan, that's it. It's no critical to the storyline really, but aye, that was the I just go and killed the boy. I thought, I've not taken it that far yet, like, but
Aye.
it's,
Right, you
Yet,
So
being
that's-
the operative word.
Your rule ends about noisy eating. John, what was your rule?
I can't remember now. Did I? I feel like I suggested one, but I can't remember what it was.
You agreed, and then kind of said how you put it into practice. I think if you wanted to do your own rule, or you just.
Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking about the previous island. First rule that I would implement is. Have you got one? I'm going to need to think. I was too enthralled by Colin's description of Jamie Dornan murdering a taxi driver.
No, it wasn't him. It wasn't him.
having
It
a
was just the
Capri Sun.
program.
It's just someone else.
No, it wasn't him that was in it. It was sorry, it's him that's in it, but it wasn't him that done the killing.
Well, we were discussing some of the stuff that goes on in Facebook groups earlier on one of our WhatsApp groups, and the suggestion was you should just have a blanket rule: don't be a cunt. And I think that's your starting point if you're letting folk on your island. That because that covers loads of stuff. That would if
But
you're
then who
noisy,
decides that? Because that's subjective.
the rule maker.
So who's the rule maker? Oh, so you're the rule maker, aye? Because you've just been asked to make the rules, aye.
You get to do it, so.
Right.
I'll just cut on the island.
There you go.
That's my rule.
The rule maker then. Aye.
Till somebody else comes on.
Aye. Aye. Maybe it should just be if I say that I'm the ruler until someone is harder than me and can knock me down.
Till your son kills you to take the throne, just like something like Lion King or something.
Annie asked, "What does having a dirty laugh even mean?"
Not sure. It's just, it's something that just gets said, isn't it?
Aye, I suppose it's one that suggests that you've interpreted something that probably folk would go, you might know what to say, what you've just thought.
Aye, it's like the double entendre you're laughing at that wasn't really said.
Aye. That's it. When other folk are on the same wavelength, would clock it and go, I get what they're thinking. And that's what I think would define a dirty laugh. That's how you can use have one. Aye, go with that.
Aye.
Ricky sent in a peeve, which was opening medication boxes at the side where the leaflet is.
I saw
And
that when it came in, and it made me
Did you see
think
the
that
answer?
no,
Right, what did it make you think?
it made me think that I've opened up boxes of paracetamol, ibuprofen, whatever it happens to be, and the first time I've opened it, I've managed to open it up the wrong way, and I thought, right, I'm definitely not going to do that the next time, and I've been fucking convinced that I've opened it from the other side,
So
and I've still managed to get it wrong.
didn't you tell me the answer, but I'll take a guess, right? Because I just thought about it, because it is a thing I go, fuck's sake, and take it and chuck it away, right? But you just called it the wrong side. But is it the right side? Because it's saying, read fucking this before you take any
Aye.
of these fucking. Is that what's the right answer? Is that the answer?
So Councillor Tom McEwen says they're designed to make you do this. The info in the leaflet is important. P.S. I'm a pharmacist, so couldn't help myself with this boring, functional, unfunny answer. So I'm not sure if that means that some will have it the right way, John, and some will have it the wrong way to stop you going, I remember we opened it last time, so I'll flip it around. Which is why you would always get it. Oh,
Why would it not be at both sides if it's important, Tom? Councillor Tom. Like, you're always going to, you might open it at the wrong end. You might always open it at the wrong end all the time and never see the leaflet.
So just have it wrapped.
Why would you just put on one side? And then it's a 50-50 shot whether you get the rules or not.
That's like USBs, eh? It's always 3 attempts at a USB. Somehow. Can you explain that, John?
I can tell you how you know how to get it right every time.
Aye.
There's a wee icon on it or something.
There's a marker on it.
That was my attempt at a dirty laugh, by the way.
Very good.
Nobody's thinking that.
Right, Ray has quote tweeted a tweet from ITV News that said Knob Throwing Festival in Dorset cancelled after growing too large. It's a good story. And his question is, what's your favourite knob tossing moment, and have you ever had one so large that you just couldn't toss it?
Oh, I wish. What is that though? What's a knob? Like butter or cheese or something? Like you don't get a knobby cheese. Do you?
Let's have a look at the article that's been referred to. The contest sees people lining up to throw a Dorset knob, which is a hard biscuit, as far as they can. The record set in 2012 currently stands at 96 feet. That's quite a fucking long way to throw a biscuit.
Do you think in there they didn't use a stone's throw as a unit of measurement? They talk about the knob.
A knob throw.
Aye.
A knob toss away.
Aye.
Actually, they had an agreement with a biscuit provider, Moore's Biscuits, but I think they've stopped doing that now as well, which hasn't helped.
Okay, so no, see what kind of biscuit it is, because you couldn't do it like with one with a hole in it, like a.
It just says a hard biscuit.
Mm.
What would be your biscuit of choice in a knob tossing competition?
No, you wouldn't want one.
Hobnob.
I'm thinking something with a bit
like a round one, so you could spin like a frisbee.
A skim. Aye, hobnob would be. That's got a bit of weight to it as well.
You imagine launching a hobnob like a discus, like getting up under the chin in that.
Spinning around first.
You would just take that and you would just do the frisbee throw with a hobnob though, wouldn't you?
Aye.
Or a Viscount or something, because it's a wee bit heavier as well. That might carry through the air a bit better, but still no heavy. You know what I mean? But it's heavier than a hobnob.
What about like a Foxy's cream? Do you think that would maybe? I think that's too heavy.
I think it's aerodynamic enough for a good toss.
It would have to be a solid one. I wonder if one in a wrapper is better, like a foil wrapper is better than a hobnob that's not wrapped at all. I wonder if that would help.
Again, it's a daft suggestion, but can we do this? Can we all get together and like come armed with a packet of biscuits and just spend the afternoon launching them as far as we can?
I reckon 96 feet doable. Like
a Longbangers knob toss.
Aye.
Make an annual event.
Aye. We'll get loads of people involved, and they can all bring their biscuit of choice. I can even do a spreadsheet. I'll resurrect the spreadsheet, and people can tell me what biscuits they're going to bring, so we didn't get any doublers.
We'll see the boys about. See Adam and that in that group chat, and see if they'll let us on at half time and down the pitch.
Aye, see if we can.
Imagine just Easter Road. I see you custard creams and digestives and Abernethy biscuits.
And everybody that's never listened to this, what the fuck are these boys are kidding? what's happening now? We're
What's this
standing
going to
at
do with football?
halfway line with a Jaffa cake. See what you're talking about doing like a discus, right? And then you think kind of like Jeff Capes and that when they used to do all that, or Daley Thompson did it in the decathlon and that. Do you think if you were really strong, it would make a difference to throwing something as little as a biscuit?
No, but that's the
Like-
shot put that he was describing.
Aye,
earlier.
But so
Aye.
it doesn't matter. But kind of discus is still kind of do the spin round and then launch
Mr.
it.
Pedantic. Thanks, Colin.
So, aye, taking it seriously. But would being strong be an advantage when chucking a biscuit?
Is a chocolate finger the javelin of the biscuit world?
It's too wee.
Just-
It's not heavy enough. But I think that would give you a bit of, but that thing they do with it, because they do go in the wee same circle with the discus.
Aye,
It's give them a couple extra bit momentum to throw it.
yep.
I'm still not convinced that that would help with a biscuit. I think that sounded fucking ridiculous as it was coming out. I think the traditional frisbee throws the way.
Aye.
That's
Well, like,
kind of that overhand technique, innit? You get like the sort of the rocking,
Or-
spinning motion. It
Yeah.
all comes for your core.
or skimming a stone. When you do that kind of
Aye.
wee flick of the wrist, then
Aye.
the way it goes.
Forehand, it's forehand or backhand you're talking, eh?
Aye.
Aye. I'm going backhand.
I think. See, this is where the science comes in. Like you're going to have the same biscuit and have the forehand and the backhand to see
Yeah.
which goes further.
I think the forehand's a harder one to keep straight. I think you'd drag it like a golf shot, whereas I think the backhand it's more likely to go straight.
Aye.
Do you think it's a more natural release backhanded?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right. Tell us how you prefer to toss 80295, forehand or backhand. What's your preferred tossing method? Should we take biscuits on our planned trip in July? Because I think if you tossed off from where we're going, you could probably get a healthy distance on it.
Hmm.
And should we do it? We'd have to find them after it, so that's the only thing. Unless you put
Yeah,
a tracker on it.
Did you say a cracker or a tracker?
A tracker. a wee biscuit with a GPS on it.
Get a wee Ritz. A Ritz attached to your Jaffa cake.
I think 96 feet, by the way, is quite doable. It's not
Well,
that's not that big, is it?
that's the record though. See, you think that's
Ah.
loads of folk have tried to talk about thousands of folk have gone and had a toss in Dorset. So
Was that 16? So that's equivalent to what, 16 6 feet men? Is that right?
Or women.
Line and all. Or women.
same,
Line,
same height
line and
either
all.
way.
Line toe, head to toe. That doesn't feel undoable.
Can we get 16 volunteers? If you're 6 foot exactly, and you
Maybe 6
listen,
feet exactly.
and you're
Well,
free
could
at
we get
some
a
point in
6 foot one?
July,
No, but if we can get somebody at 6'1", because that'll take us over the record.
yes. So what we need 15 6-footers and a 6'1". Right.
To be exact, because we're not adding them up, so that needs to be exact. So I don't let John fucking add them up.
DM us. Hopefully, they didn't get hit with a biscuit because we might fall short. I will do some practicing. Right, LG and Cow 456 said, "What's the point of the seats in bus shelters? That when you sit on it, it's either really uncomfortable or you slide off it."
I never ever. No, I hardly ever get a bus, but when I go for a bus, I never sit on that thing anyway. Like, didn't really see
When
that.
they trust
It's
it.
just for a lean, eh? It's for a lean more than a seat.
Apparently, it's to dissuade homeless people. That's what Raymond said in the reply to that tweet, which is pretty mean. Oh, you couldn't sleep on it, could you?
Children in there.
Aye, there's
Oh,
nothing to
right.
lie down.
Okay. Ah, right. That's pretty poor, eh? That's the reason. If that's the reason.
Aye.
Is
It's
it
like
is it a solid beam or is it got like a central partition? Because if you were a resourceful person who was down on the luck, you might build yourself a wee hammock just underneath.
decent shout, by the way. But
They'll think
Aye.
it's something else then, won't they?
aye, they would be spikes on it like they do with
Fucking lasers to shoot underneath.
Ron Burgundy asks, "Is Sean Maloney bigger than Matt Macy?" All right, I'm going to do the show the phone to the camera thing. 'cause it
It's
only
my
works with-
favourite part of the show.
I can't. Oh, I was going to put it landscape, right? But look what happened. They made the picture fucking tiny. What? What a waste
Well,
of
at
time
least we
that
can
was.
see
Like,
the picture.
oh,
no, we
look,
can't
you
now.
could
Oh.
look what's
We
going on
could see a
here.
landscape though.
Oh, he's see him. He's carrying. You can just about make that.
Oh, he's under. It's like 5 side goals, is it?
Aye, he's carrying them, so it looks like he's much. It's like wee tiny goals. They're actually Subbuteo goals. That's what he's got there. You said 5 aside. They're playing Subbuteo set. I don't think he's bigger than Matt Macy. I think that's evident. Folk would have mentioned how tall he was if he was bigger. Like, anybody that's bigger than Matt Macy would always be prefaced with 6'7" and a bit. Dave.
And if he was taller than that, folk would be shouting for Mulliny to be playing selling goals on Saturday anyway. So
aye,
that would be the shout, wouldn't it? So.
David says if your barber charges you more than £20 for a haircut, should he or she be jailed for extortion? I've paid me on £20 for a haircut. I know you would tell.
Have you?
I have done it. The Old Town Barber Club in Dunfermline charged me more than £20. Oh no, aye, they do. Sorry,
when I go,
banging. That's my dog's barking, and to stop the dog barking, they've decided to bang on the wall.
Oh,
that'll help. The dog will go, oh, that's them banging, I'll stop now. Didn't go down and see him. Just
when I go to the barber, it's just not often, but I'll go maybe every couple of months and get my haircut properly and my beard done. It's still only like £17. I give him 20, but it's about £17.50 or £17, something like that. So I wouldn't imagine it's £20 unless you're going to a proper hairdresser. A barber shouldn't be charging £20. Barber, you've gone in for to get a number 2 back in sides and whatever it is you're getting done on the top, if you've got any on the top.
A wee trim. So we're saying aye to that then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Aye. Okay.
How many hairdressers or barbers and that are there in your, like, I don't know, you're Dunfermline, but like John, in your wee town, is there quite a lot of hairdressers and barbers and that? Oh, and women's hairdressers, no?
I know there's
bigger than Dunfermline.
Was it Livingston? Oh, right, I thought it was like Mid-Calder or something. Right.
No, I know that there's like 3 hairdressers nearby. Down Livy Centre, there's at least another 3 or 4 sort of Turkish barber places that are usually like it's not the one that you make the appointment, you just wander in.
Do you ever wonder how they'll make money?
Can't
help. There's fucking Jink, that's. Do you not think they're the new ice cream van?
Maybe.
Maybe, aye. I'll need to go in and ask for a single bag and a gram of Coke.
Or, well, I'm not suggesting. Well, aye, okay. I see what it's done there, but because I always wonder, like, about money laundering and that as well, like hairdressers and like these vape shops and that kind of shop. You think, how can they make money? Like just selling vapes? Like you never used to get fags. Never used to get a shop that just sold fags.
Ken, who I heard was a massive money launderer was Jeffrey for Rainbow.
No, you get mixed up with Anne Diamond.
She's no deed. You can't.
Oh, she's alive. Aye, that's right.
You definitely don't get mixed up there. The wee Turkish barber last time? Probably was the last time because I was probably too embarrassed to go back. I'd gone in and I wanted a haircut and a shave, like the full treatment, and it was dead. So just me.
The barber was dead.
No, barber was. Oh, did you see the story about the boy in Ireland that took his dead uncle to the post office to try to cash the pension? And what was amazing about it is he's trying to explain, I never done it, I never knew he was dead. And
he was alive when I set off.
He was alive when I set off, but he's spoken only saying it because I bumped my auntie because I stole her bank card. Like, you're not doing yourself any favours here, mate. Anyway, the Turkish barber was alive and well. And I said, like, get a haircut and a shave. And he went, he like hesitated and he went, I'm just on my own. So if I got busy, it was going to take ages. So I said, I don't worry about it then, just the haircut. So he cuts the hair and then he puts the chair back and he starts to shave. Right, because nobody's come in. As soon as he started it, folk come in and you could see him going, oh, fuck. And I was like, I felt bad, even though I had said, don't worry about it, I just did the haircut. And it was like the most awkward then, 15 minutes or however long it took after that. And you could see he just was like, I'm going to have to do this now. I've started it. I'm not really wanting it done because I'm feeling bad for the boy because he's got all these folk. Somebody left rather than waiting. Ken opened the door, went, fuck that, and went away again. So like, I've cost the boy a customer now.
I bet you got a customer to you that wasn't getting that would offset that.
Well, that's true. I paid more than just for a haircut because I did the shave as well. But I gave him a bigger tip than I probably would have normally have done because of that, because I felt terrible.
What was your tip? go with your gut instinct.
Didn't do that next time.
Believe in yourself.
If you believe it, you can achieve it.
Ken who said that originally? It was Paul Pop, kind of one of those photos, John.
What you mean, the Cambodian dictator?
Aye, he said it. If you believe it, you can achieve it. I saw it in a quote on Facebook. Him or Genghis Khan, can't remember.
I was going to say, was it not Hitler? I thought it was Hitler. Like, that was the one.
Fattest Prickus said, if two airplanes were having sex, would the entry hole on the receiving plane become its cockpit? Yes.
Well, I think if you watch Airplane, the pilot asks, "Is it young Joey that comes up into the cockpit?" Like, do you ever watch films about Gladiator? I think the insinuation is that the pilot's into men or young boys. So I don't think cockpit's maybe the right answer, actually.
Fair dues.
Maybe unless if it's two male planes, I think then it's the cockpit.
We're talking about the receiving plane, so
either way.
Aye.
I still think I'm right.
Okay. Text in 80295. Matt said, how curvy is Curvy Nisbet nowadays? So you're not so curvy these days, John, are you?
No. I think when the Curvy Nisbet nickname started, I would have been at my heaviest when I decided to get my acting gear. I was 21 stone, and I was just fucking horrified. I was like, "How the fuck am I 21 stone?" And the last time I weighed myself, I was 17. So,
very good.
Superb. Fattest Prickus, does the Queen's Ferry crossing get too much credit as a remarkable feat of engineering? It's basically just 3 big poles, a bit of tarmac, and some wire.
Who was asking that? Was that Alex?
Alex, aye.
It's probably on the way over the day. Does it get?
Aye, so
does it?
It does. So one of the things that you get or you don't get on the Queen's Ferry crossing that you got on the Forth Road Bridge is when you drove over the Forth Road Bridge, you went bump, 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 bump,
Aye.
Does they do that on the Queen's Ferry crossing? And they never shut it because of the wind, because they put windshields on it,
right.
Which is good.
So that
Did the Forth Road Bridge?
Like, what?
Sorry, Colin.
So they fucked up the first one more than that, made that one brilliant, no?
Aye, well, they didn't have all that technology for. How do you cope with wind whenever the Forth Road Bridge was?
How do you know have fucking cement joins like on a?
Aye.
Surely, somebody was brainy enough to think every time they've gone over this, you've got to hit a fucking bump.
Aye. It's going to be noisy as fuck.
Maybe they tried it and went, actually, that sounds quite good.
My wife hates going over the bridge. Like she's tunnel vision. She can't. She hates it. She can't look right or left. Doesn't talk. And the old one, when you hit the things, that made it worse because it was like, oh, it's going to fucking break. You know, the bridge has got to snap.
And you can see down
in the water.
There's like wee grills along the roadside, so you can see down to the water, which doesn't help for it as well. I was never a fan of it. The other thing that's cool with the Forth Bridge, I think Queensferry Crossing does it as well, is when it's quiet, it's got like a big steep hill, like you're going up and over. But when it's busy, it's not quite flat, but it's no kicking ass off it. Obviously, it just bends to support the weight of the cars. It's quite cool. What I liked about the Queensferry Crossing, I'm going to stick up for it a wee bit. I generally agree with Alex's main point, but you saw it getting built. If you live over this side of the water and commute to Edinburgh, you'd see every day what they were doing. And I never ever thought about how they would do this, but you know, when they start building the foundations for those big pillars, you think, well, that's underwater. How are they doing that? How do you think they did it?
They have to drain it in some way, do they?
Aye, they put like a big massive hula hoop down, like a hula hoop, the crisp. Like huge one of them down, so that the top it pops out the top of the water. Then they pump all the water out at the top, and then it's high enough that more water can't get in.
So they can get the foundations up.
Aye. I always wondered that. It's like, how would you do that? And then saw it and you go, that's clever. So that's why I liked it.
It must have taken fucking ages because I'm watching the boys next door build and get an extension. The guy next door got an extension built. It's about 3 weeks, and all they've done is put some cement in a fucking hole. That's it. I thought I could have done that. I can fuck all about building.
Well, here's another question, right? So, taking Alex's point on board, I think that the Queensferry Crossing is probably the most ambitious and complex construction project we will ever see in our lifetime. But
Collins
my
Neighbours
gut instinct
extension.
is that they managed to complete it before the fucking Edinburgh trams were ever finished.
They did. They did it before.
Like
the
it was
trams were finished.
conceived of, funded, built, and operational before the trams were complete.
Yeah.
How's that?
Probably because it was to do with Fife Council rather than Edinburgh Council. I would go
You
with
probably
that.
had the shitey workers on it. They just sit in the van reading the paper. Do you ever go past? That's another one of my pet peeves. I drove past doing it. You know what? Can we just come past the King's buildings and you're going back to Tillerburton Fire Station, taking that bit in the dip? And I don't know what they knocked that pub that was there doing. I can't remember the name of the pub that used to sit there. And they're obviously got built houses or something. I counted something like 9, I think, workies yesterday. 9 of them were doing any work when I was sitting in the lights waiting to get through. They all just stand looking. And I think, how does anything ever get fucking done? I suppose that at points they must do something, but that's how it takes so fucking long. Any workies listening in, it's because you are standing doing fuck all for most of the day. And that hour you do some work. I think if you'd done that in 7 hours, you'd be finished 7 times as quick.
They'll be exactly like cows, right? See when cows see people, they just go fucking stay still. They fuck all. Some of them will have a wee lie down. When nobody's there, those cows are on fucking, they're digging up and building stuff, and they're going having massive parties and that. But nobody ever sees it because they've got a lookout cow somewhere that goes fucking moo like that, and they go shit.
Well, there's his temporary lights. There's his temporary lights.
That's the warning sign. To go, people are coming, get the paper out. They just sit at the same page that they're on every time. Right, Alex as well. If Rangers fans start fighting with each other, should it be called the Loyal Rumble?
It would be. We'd call it ourselves. Wouldn't even be derogatory.
Everyone wears orange singlets.
It'd be in the bear pit, wouldn't it? A Loyal Rumble with the bear pit. With Gerard going, they're not real bears, so are they? 150k on Hanlon Hill said, will Saudi commentators carry on the now obligatory use of Martin Boyle every time the squirrel touches the ball? You should get it on his shirt, eh?
Yeah.
Just Martin Boyle.
Just one word.
Aye.
That's funny how we done that in the end. It was like never just called Boyle. It was like you call someone their surname, it sounds a bit too, I don't know, distant or something. But he was one of us, so he got the first name as well, but can I just call him Martin? So,
Brunswick Bill said, they say that you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, but do you think that Martin Boyle's improvement at Hibs shows that you can make a silk purse out of a headless chicken? So I think Boyle ever described himself as a headless chicken. He would say it was like a speedboat without a driver.
Did he?
When he came to Hibs, I think that was his words.
There's a speedboat with a driver just go round in circles.
Or just straight.
It can't go straight because it's got the rudder or the water will send it off course. Jamie Murphy's more like a speedboat with a driver these days.
Aye. Heads in land all the time.
Aye.
Well, anyway, they improved a lot. 150k on Hanlon Hill is staunch the most fuck-witty word in the dictionary.
Aye, that kind of appeared in the last couple of years. It was what to do with the brown shoes. I quite like brown shoes as well. It's quite frustrating. Aye.
Well,
the thing is,
what's with the brown shoes?
I don't know. That's just that was like a sign. That's a sign, isn't it?
Aye.
Brown shoes.
That you're a hunt, that you wear brown shoes.
Aye.
You see them doing that thing, drinking out the cup. It all gets passed down.
Oh, aye.
What's that?
It's like a ceremony they do. It's like this kind of ceremonial cup that they have they pass it on.
Who does it? Rangers fans.
The staff.
Oh, right.
So I was having a wee read about it. I don't know if any other club does it, but if I remember rightly, like umpteen years ago, I think it was celebration of the coronation of the Queen or something. There was a set of these cups were made, and I think Rangers were gifted one by like Stoke or something way back whenever. With I think it was like a stipulation or it was like a ceremonial thing where they said that at the first home game of every year, you'll take a drink out of this cup and toast good health to the Queen. that's the background to it, and it doesn't make it any less weird
Mere weird.
that a bunch of grown men are all sharing a drink out of this fucking ceramic tumbler and going to the
That's
Queen.
mad. That's mental. But it used to be a thing, didn't it? If you won the cup, you'd fill it with champagne or beer or whatever, and you would all take again pass the cup round. But when you won something,
It looks, it's basically a Toby jug. Is what it looks like.
mental.
Staunch being a 6-letter word means that you only get any Rangers fans playing that word out,
Not know their first word.
which is 5 letters. So
Is it
It's
no?
not a bad word.
Is it
It's
no
not a bad word if it was. There is a 6-letter one you can play.
Yeah.
I've found on.
Oh, is there?
Is it not a 7-letter word?
What?
Aye, it is. Aye,
Aye,
seven.
it is. Right.
So it doesn't
Fucking
fit that
hell.
either. It doesn't fit the 6-letter one.
No. How many is pedantic, John? It's
Ask Colin.
more than the 5, eh? It's more than
8.
the 5. Right. Matt asks, what's something that doesn't really smell great, but you keep wanting to smell it anyway? For him, it's deep heat.
Oh, deep heat's a good shout. I love the smell of it. Well, see, that's the thing. I'm going to say I love the smell of it. That breaks the kind of really what he's saying, eh?
What about your
Or
red
is it-
fart?
Well, you didn't, aye. But then you didn't think that's what was it? How did they word the question? A
You
smell
said-
of something.
What's something that doesn't really smell great, but you keep wanting to smell it anyway?
Deep heat's a good shout. Like it is. You know, the other one is smelling salts. You ever done that? You see them? You see them doing it sometimes at
Aye.
the subs. Jermaine Defoe was always one that you would see on the smelling salts before the game. It's one of them. You go back for another wee bit. It's like
Aye.
ammonia or something.
Jermaine Defoe was on Poppers.
Aye. Oh,
Aye.
I would imagine so.
I
Sometime
don't
in
know.
his career.
Is he deed? Can we
Is he
say it?
alive?
Well, I don't know what's the law on speculation.
That was just a question.
Aye, it's just a question. You're allowed to ask
Aye.
questions.
Aye.
And we're not encouraging anybody to go and kill him.
I'll wait and see.
so we
I'm
can
just
say
gonna,
it.
before I answer that question, I'm just going to wait and see what Sue Gray's report says before,
Aye.
before I say.
before again. Gregor Mason said, "Oh, this is related to Sean Maloney. If he's not how tall actually is Matt Macy, but we already ken that he's like 9 foot something." And John, guess who the last question's from? We've not had one from yet.
T.G. Willis.
It is indeed. He said, "If I had a van, would Quick Fit have taken my tyres?" And he's got a photo of a sign that on a Quick Fit's window it says, "If you've got a van, we've got the tyres," which does sound like a bit like a ransom letter. So, do we think Quick Fit go around choring folks' tyres to then sell them back or extort money from you at a later date?
Well, they do that, don't they? I think that's just
That's a bit of
that's been a thing. That was a business model.
Almost sounds like they're saying we want you to steal tyres from us, provided you got a van, or kidnap tyres.
Oh, they're saying they'll steal your
They're
tyres.
saying they'll steal
they'll
your
steal- If you've
if you've
oh,
got
if you've got a van, we'll steal your tyres.
we've got the tyres. So if you go out the night and your van's on bricks, go to your local Quick Fit, just take them
How
back.
would you ever be able to identify your own tyres? Like, do you put? Is it like your mum when you were in primary school, write your name on the collar?
Aye, on the
It's the
inside,
inside.
there's a wee
These
label.
are Matty's tyres.
Or a
R16s
a
V7.
UV pen. The folks still do that with their bikes. That mind when you were wee, and if you had a bike, you'd write on a UV pen in case it got
Aye,
stored.
no, that doesn't happen anymore. You just got locks now, eh?
Aye.
I think locks are more accessible.
UV pens were about before locks were.
Used to get them in shops to check a 20 quid note on that, but
Aye.
that was it. That was the only place now you get them. So
You write it was the postcode you would write down on it as well, wasn't it? That was like the thing.
aye,
Wasn't
Can't
it
remember.
to prevent it getting chored? It was if it got chored, you'd get it back.
I think it was.
My bike got nicked when I was younger, and I think it got launched into I think it was like the River Amond or a nearby pond. I think someone must have found it, but I don't think it was the police. Like, so it didn't matter whether it had my postcode on it or not.
It might have been Dido Hard then.
Might have been,
You were
aye.
kicking about on one. I had a bike got chored. It was at Hosey Rig. And what was interesting about that is our pal Scott, he had a better bike, like a Carrera, and he used to kind of make the point about having a better bike. And that was beside
He's on
mine
only
on the
one.
left. Aye, the left has.
He's now my brother-in-law, by the way.
Aye.
Just for everybody to know. Aye.
Aye, chored my bike and left his.
Is he still a dick about bikes?
Is that right? Aye, he's a dick about everything.
Right, that's all our questions up. Done. I forgot about Shortbangers last night, by the way, when I was wrapping up Quick Bang. I was like, we've got... And I forgot
know,
what
I
date we were
listened.
on.
And I
Aye.
thought, oh, we're not doing it then for the morning. I must have any questions
I
in or something.
forgot all about it. I think we came we were playing on Saturday, but he just spent it. I got excited at having a 0-0 draw at Motherwell. So what we have got, we'll have probably Quick Bang after at some point after the Livingston game on Saturday. We are due to have Britain's best journalist, Colin Sam Delaney, on Hibs on Sunday.
Aye.
And then we'll be back with Longbangers on Monday night. So tune in for that. All those ones. Tell people about the podcast if they've not heard about it already. Share us on social media, all that kind of stuff to help us out. And
might have a guest on Monday night. We don't know yet as well. That was
aye.
We don't know that one yet. We're just waiting on confirmation.
Secret guest.
Yeah.
Like the Secret Millionaire. Do you ever watch the IT Crowd with the boys on the Secret Millionaire?
I've watched that.
So it's Matt Berry's Kenny's the boss.
Uh-huh.
He goes on the Secret Millionaire and he gets like this council estate, but he keeps dropping it. I'm on the Secret Millionaire.
Yes.
So it's our secret guest on Monday night. Might be Matt Berry. Might not be. Probably won't be. He's in Boba Fett. If anybody's watched Boba Fett on Disney Plus, Matt Berry's on that.
I watched Toast of London recently and Toast of Tinseltown as well, all on iPlayer. It's just basically him, and he's the main thing all the way through it. But he's funny, like it's funny. Yeah.
I need to go watch that. Not right now. Anyway, right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink what I know.